Hi guys, welcome to the Diabetes Doctor channel where we always come and bring you fresh things about diabetes. And today I am joined by someone who's very special. Some of you already know him because of the Young and Sweet podcast, but I will allow him to introduce himself. So Brian, karibu sana, please introduce yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Brian Kodere from the Young and Sweet podcast.
Yes.
Type 1.
Yes.
Living with the condition for I think 8 years now. That's it about me.
Okay. So which means you're on insulin, right?
Yes.
For those who might not be aware what type 1 and type 2 is. Yeah. So type 1 means you are dependent on insulin. Okay. So Brian, something very interesting happened to you. You had a chance to get something that you've never used for your sugar control before, something called the CGM, right?
Yes.
And CGM is continuous glucose monitoring. So first of all, explain to us and maybe some people who've never seen that before. What exactly is that?
A CGM, it's how do I say it? It's a device that it's put in your hand. In the arm, so that it can monitor your sugars automatically without you pricking your fingers.
Yeah.
So you use your phone to scan, or a sensor to scan the device.
Yeah.
And then it gives you an accurate reading of your sugars.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means all the painful pricks are gone.
All are gone.
Wow.
Yeah, for 14 days.
Oh, we thought it was for life, so it's only 14 days.
Just 14 days.
Okay, yes. So I hope you've heard that, listener, that it's a 14-day monitor. So how was your experience with it? I know it was your first time ever having it. All your diabetes life, you have been using the finger pricks, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And is there any benefit on the CGM vis-a-vis the pricker, according to your experience?
One of the benefits of the CGM, you avoid a lot of pricking. That's the first thing. Second of all, it's something secretive. You don't have to show everyone that you are trying to monitor your sugars using your prickers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Thirdly, it's something simple.
Yeah.
You just have to scan it, rather than carrying all your equipment.
So literally all you have to do is just this.
Yeah, just scan it and then you have your readings.
Wow, that's amazing. And when you had it, can you just walk us through the process, how it was inserted, what you felt at that time? Is it painful to put it in?
No, it's not painful at all.
Yeah.
But there's an aspect of fear once they start putting the CGM on you. Because you have to be, should I say, naked, not really naked.
But your arm has to be there.
A bit exposed.
Okay.
So there's a way the nurse or the doctor has to put it, but it's not painful at all. And then it has a sticky substance so that it can stick onto your arm.
It. Yeah. We even have a demo here. So let me just open it up and so that we can see.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it, right? Yeah. So that means once it's opened up, there's a needle inside.
Yes.
And then they come and just press it and release the
CGM. After they release, they have to, there is something like a glue, so that it can stick.
So that it can
for
stick
14 days without coming out.
So does this mean you actually go to the shower with it?
Yes, you can do anything. You can shower with it, you can go to the gym, you can do anything that you want. But I was warned, you don't have to have a lot of contact with maybe the wall or somebody trying to remove it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when the sensor will be off.
Yeah. Are you able to pass through the supermarket detectors with it?
Yes, it's plastic.
Oh, so it's not a metal?
Yeah, it's not a metal, it's plastic.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know.
Even the needle itself, it's not metal. It's somehow plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you once even try and see whether there was any difference between the sugar reading that you would get here and the sugar reading that you get on the pricker? Did you compare?
Yes, I did. The only difference it was the points. Maybe my sugars can be 7.1 and the glucometer maybe 6.8 or 7.2.
Okay, so like a 0 point something
0 point,
difference.
yeah, plus or minus.
Plus or minus.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. And did you get into scenarios where people would wonder what this is? Like, did it draw attention to you?
Yes, most of the time.
Really?
You know, people are curious by nature. So you can be having, maybe you are wearing a short sleeve or a long sleeve shirt that is a bit transparent.
Yeah.
Somebody may want to know what kind of device is this guy wearing. You look like somebody who's spying, somebody like a robot. Yeah? You know, it really happened a lot of times.
Yeah.
But you know, once you're diabetic, you know how to maneuver in such kind of situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to find another story to derail.
And then they forget about it.
Yeah.
So, in your now I know you've had diabetes for 8 years already, which means you already have a stable regimen of insulin that you've been taking for some time.
Yes.
But did the CGM perhaps make you realize certain things you did not know about your diabetes management in terms of how your sugar is fluctuating during the course of the day? What new thing did you learn about yourself?
I learned one thing about the CGM. I learned that sugars are not always stable. Before the 2 hours reading, there's a lot going on between the moment you are eating and after the 2 hours reading, which we usually do it with a normal pricking.
Yeah.
Because after 1 hour of eating, you can find your sugars are so high, but when the insulin is not really at peak. So after the 2 hours, then your sugars can be stable again. Yeah.
So you actually realized you have higher readings than you thought you did.
Yes, exactly.
Because usually you just take the sugar 2 hours after your meal.
Yeah.
But now this one gives you information all the way from the time you eat.
You can scan it anytime that you want.
Yeah.
After 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, and it's unlimited. You can scan it anytime, anywhere. Even when you're having a shower, you can scan it.
You can scan it.
Yeah.
Now, there's one interesting thing that happened when we were at the conference, you remember?
Yes.
Where there was actually a hypo and did not know that there was a hypo.
Yeah.
Isn't that also an important thing? You can maybe just talk about it?
With the CGM, it gives you an alarm.
Yeah.
It has an alarm. Once your sugars are low, you know, my sugars maybe when they're low, I can feel it at 4, some can feel it at 3, some can feel it at 1. It has an alarm that you have to set on your phone, so that when your sugars are below the target that you set, it gives you an alarm that your sugars are low. You need to do something about it. But during the conference, I had not put the feature in my phone yet. But after that, you know, when I started to check the app to know the things that I didn't know, then I realized I need to set an alarm for low sugar levels and high sugar levels. Yeah, when the sugars are high, if the alarm is on, it will just set off, and then you'll have to do the necessary steps to be okay.
Okay. So I think that's a very important point to note for our viewers, that there are people who have something called hypoglycemia unawareness. Hypoglycemia is low sugar. Low sugar is dangerous. When you have low blood sugar less than 4, it can kill. And we have people who have type 1 or even type 2 diabetes who are on insulin or oral drugs that make the sugar go low. And it goes to very low to a point where the person is no longer able to even help themselves. And so that's why it's important when this particular CGM is there, it actually beeps, and anyone who is around you can note that there is a low sugar and we need to do something about it. And even for the person themselves, they can easily tell that the sugar is now low, even when they don't have the awareness of hypoglycemia. So it's something very important because it has saved lives. Just having that alarm that tells them that sugar is low, it's a lifesaver. So thank you for those views about the CGM. So how was it removed? Was it removed after 2 weeks, or can you push? You know, in our economy,
there's a time. It's 14 days. Once it's in your arm, and there's a sensor, and then there's a time frame. After every day, it says 13 days remaining, 12 days remaining.
Okay.
Like it's an time.
It's like yes, I get what you mean. Like then at some point it just goes to 0.
Yeah, no, not 0. It gives you like 24 hours remaining, 12 hours remaining, 30 minutes remaining, 2 seconds, and then it's off automatically.
Oh, it automatically switches off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then after that, you can. I just did it myself. I just removed it. It wasn't painful because after the 14 days already, the glue, or I don't know how to say the glue. Yeah, it was already loose and yeah.
Okay.
So I just removed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's something you can do from home. It doesn't need a lot.
The removal. Yeah, the removing.
So insertion needs to be in the clinic, but removal you can do it anywhere.
Exactly.
So the data, how is that data, all the data it has taken for those 2 weeks, how is it then stored? And do you have it till now, or does it also go?
Yes, I do. I do have it.
Okay.
There's a calendar in the application, and then there's a graph. The calendar is your daily routine, your daily graphs. There is a 14-day, and then the good thing about the CGM, it gives you HbA1c readings roughly. I don't know if it's accurate, but a rough reading for the 14 days for your HbA1c. Yeah.
Okay. And so it looks like it's something that is very useful, right?
Yeah, it's really useful, yeah.
So now the problem is that where we are now in Kenya, our situation is that we still are relying a lot on the precursors.
Yes.
And we don't have much access to the CGM. Is there any insurance company that you know of that currently pays for the CGM? And I'm talking about the national insurances that we are aware of.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
But listeners, as of now, there's none that is able to supply CGM constantly to someone who has diabetes. So this is something that is quite worrying, because if you're not sure about how someone's control is, and then later on they get complications, people are more willing to deal with complications than to get people with good control. So it's something that we need to now lobby for people who are living with type 1 diabetes and people who are on insulin and that they are type 2, to be able to get access, even if it's just for 2 weeks or a month, so that we can just know what the control is like, where we need to improve the insulin regimens on. And it doesn't have to be a long-term thing. Even that one made a change for you, right?
Life changing. And then the good thing about the CGM, with the graphs and the daily readings, once you visit your doctor, you know, most of us, sometimes you can lie to the doctors about our readings. Maybe I'm managing my diabetes poorly. So with the CGM, you can't alter the readings.
Yes.
That's the good thing about it.
That is true.
Yeah.
And this one is very common with adolescents, right?
Even with adults.
Even with adults. Wow. So that's something also to note. So now, as we wrap up, on a scale of 1 to 10, Brian, where would you put your CGM experience? 10 being like the best.
I would say 9.
9.
Yes.
So
all the things with the CGM, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But with the attention that it
draws to
everyone wants to know what is this. You know, in a day you can actually speak about the CGM to a lot of people if it's so visible. Like when I go to the gym, then I have a vest. Everyone wants to know what is this.
Yeah.
You can't concentrate because all eyes are on you. And another thing with the negatives about CGM, at some point during the last days, maybe the 10th, 13th day, it's a bit uncomfortable because you can feel like something inside of you, but you really can't rip it off.
Yeah.
And then some instances where it gets into you. Because you feel so uncomfortable sometimes at night when you're sleeping, and then you feel something. It feels like something is really bothering you when you're sleeping.
Okay.
So you need to have a bit of dedication. Is it the right word? So that your sugars can be accurate.
But maybe if you do it more and more, you get used to it, I guess.
Yes, I guess so.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, Brian. I really hope that our listeners have learned a thing or two about CGM, and even for the doctors who have patients who have diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2 and they're insulin dependent, but the sugars are all over the place. And also for people who are type 2 diabetes and are on orals, it does not have to be only people on insulin. Anyone can actually put in a CGM as long as you just want to control the sugar or look at what the sugar trend is like. And it's also very useful for those who are trying to monitor the sugar of their loved one from abroad, for example. You know, if let's say you're in Kenya, but someone is in the US and they want to know what your sugar is like, it's very easy for you to send them the data, right?
Yeah, true.
And you have that peace knowing that, oh, the sugars are good. I've been able to see, rather than getting sugar readings that have been written down on a piece of paper. Yeah, so that transparency and accuracy is also very important. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, and I hope that we have, you know, made someone else out there understand what CGM is, and hopefully with time we'll come to do this more and more in Kenya so that we can have better sugar control. Asante sana. Any parting words to our audience?
Technology is the future. With the CGM, it's advancement in technology. And with diabetes, I think it's a really good thing because of the CGMs. And we really hope that it will be affordable to majority of us. And yes, affordability is the main thing.
It's the thing, that's true. Actually, you're right. Affordability is our main hindrance, but hopefully with time, as we continue to lobby for better control, hopefully the prices will come down.
Sure.
So thank you. My name is Dr. Hilda Nabiswa, and I'm a diabetes specialist located at Upper Hill Medical Center, room 4C. Karibu sana if you have diabetes, and we'll be happy to take care of you. And thank you so much for listening to us today. Bye.
Bye-bye.